Today I am going to go over some of the key pickleball rules so you can get your game going quickly. The first thing that we're going to talk about is scoring. There's a couple things you need to know. Let's talk about scoring a little bit. Scoring can only be done by the serving team. The serving team gets points in a variety of ways. Let's look at these main four right here. The serving team can get a point when they serve and the receiving team misses the ball. Second, the receiving team hits the ball into the net. The serving team gets a point when the receiving team hits the ball out of bounds. And finally, the receiving team volleys the ball while standing in the non-volley zone. Pretty easy scoring system, right? So let's move on. The double bounce rule. This one gets a lot of beginners. So let's go over it really close and really careful. So you can see that player A is the server and player B is the receiver. So what's going to happen is player A is going to serve the ball diagonally to player B, the receiver, and the receiver has to let the ball bounce before they can hit the ball back to the serving team. Then once the receiver hits it back, the serving team now has to let the ball bounce before they can return the ball. After those first two bounces, then you can start using a regular hit like they have been, or you can actually volley the ball, which means hitting the ball in the air. So let's take a look and see what this looks like. So server A is going to serve the ball, receiver hits it back, and notice that both of them let it bounce before they hit it, and server side D player just missed the ball. So it went out of bounds. So from there, we're going to talk about the serving rotation. Now this can get a little confusing, but if you watch the diagrams closely, you'll understand exactly how to do this. We can see here that player A is going to be the first server. There's a couple things that can happen. The first thing that can happen is when player A serves it, player B just misses the ball. Notice that player A served it diagonal. Or this could happen, player A serves the ball and the receiver hits it into the net. That would get, either one of those would get the server team a point. If the server team gets a point, then the server is going to have to switch sides to the opposite court. The reason for this is because they scored a point. The game always starts with the server on the right side, and every time they have an even number, like 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10, they'll be on the right side. If the server makes a point, like the server A just did in this example, they'll switch to the left side because they'll have 1 point. And all the odd numbers are served from the left court, and again they're served diagonally. So if you have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, or 11, you'll serve from the left court. From there, say that server A messes up and the opposite team hits the ball out of bounds or after the bounce, then the other team will get the ball, and server B or player B will now be the server. They'll be the server because they have 0 points and they are on the right side. So server B will serve the ball, but they hit it into the net. Now you might think that the next server is going to be the person who is player D, but that's not correct for pickleball. The next server is actually going to be on the same team as B. Player C will now be the server. Let's see what happens when player C serves the ball. Oh man, they served it clear out of bounds. They did a good job serving it diagonally, but they hit it too hard. So now who is going to be the next server? Now it will be player D's turn to serve. Now in the diagram it shows player D on the right side, but we know that in reality player D should be on the left side because they have 1 point already from earlier when player A was the server. Then the last thing you'll need to know about the serving rotation is that both players from both sides will serve, then it will rotate to the other side. So for instance, now D will serve, then A, then B, then C. So it only starts off with one player serving from one side at the very beginning of the game. Alright, I hope these quick and easy rules will help you get started with your pickleball game, and it makes the game a little bit more understandable. Thanks for watching.